Disconnect.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. We're still
Reconnect.
setting up stuff. I'm hoping she can hear me, but we're going to have a really good time today. We're going to talk about surviving a family road trip with your kids, or even if it's just an everyday at home, trying to find things to keep them busy before they head back to school. And Ruth is the expert when it comes to family fun and things that are going on. And I've known Ruth a really long time. So she is actually the person that got me through um, learning Facebook and the algorithms and all of the different things that happen um, as you try to navigate Facebook and you're using it for business. It kind of changes everything. When you first start out, you're using Facebook. It's a fun place just to be and connect with people. But when you start looking at it as a business opportunity, it changes how you do things. And so there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's a lot of learning. I took a crash course and she was the expert. And I'm so blessed and lucky to have been able to spend time and learn from her. And now she's on a new endeavor with her company, Hot Pawz. And so she's got a lot of stuff that she's going to share with us. I'm hoping you can hear me. Are you all ready to go, Ruth? And feeling like you can hear me or not? Now she's freezing. So we're going to have a really interesting podcast today because it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, and she started this packing tape. So if you ship a lot of packages, you're going to definitely want to check out her Hot Pawz space over on Amazon and get some stuff ordered because it's really, really delightful. It puts the fun in the packing tape, and you're going to spend a lot of money on it anyway. You might as well get something that is a great value and is really gorgeous and easy to use. And she knows everything there is to know about it. And now she's branched off into doing family fun games that you can play, get your kids out of their screens all the time. We're all on our screens too much. I know I am. And I know my kids are, and they're all grown, but still, it'd be nice to do some fun activities with them if we're all going somewhere. And my granddaughter's here now, so it'd be nice to have some things for her to do to keep her busy when she's on a long car ride. So, welcome to the show, Ruth. I'm hoping you can hear me. Are we good to go? She's like, nah, I'm not sure if I can hear. She's trying to set up what she's got going on. I don't know if she can hear me. This is going to be a great interview. And I see people have jumped in and I love it. And thank you for being here. I don't know how my comments are all working. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm just getting used to this studio. So lots of things to learn. And as I grow and move along in life on my new path, it's a busy day for me. And so I'm excited. Oh, and Apollo he's really excited too. So he's ready to join the fun as we move along. So, what are some of the things that you're doing in your world to keep your kids busy? What keeps them from literally driving you crazy or gets them off of their screen? Do you have any secrets, or is there anything that you can do what are your secrets to doing it? I didn't do a whole lot in the car with my kids. We did play the games. We were like I Spy and what else do we play? Oh, we would always like try to find license plates that from different states and how many states could we put in there and get it and see. And but kids these days are so attached to their screens that it's hard to pull them out. And as much as you like that they're just happy and busy and can keep themselves occupied, um, it's also a really fun place to like connect with them, right? Because you got them trapped in a car usually if you're on a road trip. And so what do you do to keep them occupied and to connect with them when you're in that nice small space? So take the phones away, grab yourself a fun game that you can play. And this is what I love about what the activity can, and I should probably just show it up on screen because that would be super perfect since Ruth's having some problems with her screen and she'll probably be back. So let me present. This is a first time for me. Share screen. Never done this before. Share screen. Is it going to share the right screen? Oh, there we go. Amazon right here. So I'm going to share this and see. Oh, perfect. Now I just got to make it close
Hey
enough
there.
and we can see it. Hey, I can hear you. Welcome. I hope you can hear me. Yay!
Just this moment.
Oh, it's all good. We figured out. I just kept going. The show must go on. I just kept going
Okay.
with it. I was like, it's all good.
Yep, yep.
So I was talking about what it's like to, when you get your kids trapped in a car on a road trip and you want to
Yep.
survive it, and you also don't really want, I mean, it's great that they can be occupied on their phones, but some kids, under a certain age don't even have phones yet, and they're fighting with their brother, or they're screaming, or they're doing the dreaded, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah. Exactly. And really, like, that's why this kind of started. Back when I was a kid, this was the scavenger hunt part was something that I did while I was traveling, and I'm an only child, so I had to keep myself entertained by myself. So this was something that my parents had provided me back when I was so young, and I happened to have just one of these little cards, and I'm just like, this would be something fun to bring back, and I'm really happy the way that it turned out.
100%. I mean, it's fun to be able to, like, connect with the kids too, right? Like, you got them trapped in a car, you can pull them out of their phone, and it'll give you some time to, like, hang out with them. Like, I miss that. Like, those were some of the best
Yeah,
times when
yeah. I
you
mean,
can
spending quality
go ahead.
yeah, spending quality time together with the family is just incredibly important to me. Like engaging in these scavenger activities, and then there's other games on the back. It really fosters a deeper connection among family members. These games encourage communication, teamwork, cooperation, just helping families understand how to appreciate each other better. Additionally, the shared experience during traveling creates lasting memories that families could cherish.
100%. I mean, and you don't realize it until, like, I know I didn't realize it as much until my kids were, grown and off on their own. And then the times that I got to spend with
Hmm.
them, I was like, now every time that we're all together, I always just pause and I get out of all of the other distractions that are going on and really focus on them, because I realize how rare those occurrences are. And so if you can make those lasting memories with the kids when they're young and they're still, hanging out with you, and you're still kind of cool, and you can connect with them.
Yeah.
And I love that you have so many of them too. So we're not going to get bored. That's like 36 unique games in there, which is
Yes,
super
that's a
cool.
big thing. And I really wanted to focus on like the benefits for, sorry, it's all broken up a little bit. I
It's okay.
apologize. But yeah, these games really try to offer a variety of stuff for both. We have marketed them for both age 8 plus, teen, preteen, and adult, and encourages so much great child development. It has cognitive skills by encouraging them to do problem solving, critical thinking, creativities, and then players can use their minds to decipher clues, strategies, complete challenges. It really stimulates their intellectual abilities.
Wow. 100% approved. I love this. I mean, challenges. I mean, that's what the kids thrive on these days. They're all like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna beat you, or I'm better at you." You know what I mean? Like, that's what siblings do. They have that, like, rivalry of.
Hmm.
I was also an only child, so I didn't have that as much, but I see it in others, and I see it with my own kids, and how there's always that, like, there's always something. I know my daughter called me the other day and my son was in the room, and she's like, "Is that my brother?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Hi, brother." And he goes, "Is that my sister?" I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I knew I smelled something." So
Yep.
it's like there's always some kind of some kind of thing going on. So when you give them a way to funnel that energy, right? A place to put all of that, um, so that they're not beating on each other in the back seat, or throwing things at
Hmm.
each other, or arguing. It's a great way to channel that, and then they make you can make those lasting memories with kids. What
Yeah.
you kind of touched on it earlier, but what was your inspiration? Like, what was the drive to get this put together, and how did you get all of this? Like, it's so well put together. Like, it comes in a case, and I have it's like everything box.
Yeah, it really is. I want to have something that you could just keep in your glove compartment, your back seat, the side compartment, and it would just be ready to go, whether you're going to go camping or to the beach or anything. It's waterproof. They're heavy duty laminated. We include the dry erase marker, the dry eraser. I mean, we include everything you need just to get and go. And we did have 20 scavenger hunts on one side. And trust me, we did these with my family while this is adults. We did this with 4 adults while we were traveling. And just to do one game, it took us 45 minutes just for one of the scavenger hunt games. And then it wasn't even each on the back side of all of these. There's unique games that are either for solo, multiplayer, solo competitive against the rest of the people in the car, you work with the rest of the people in the car. So whether you're in a mindset of, I want to do something by myself, I want to do something with everyone in the car, I want to be cooperative or competitive, we have a wide variety of games that match those personality types.
Wow. It almost makes me think that this would be great for like a week, like a girls' weekend. If you were like the scavenger hunts and stuff, for like girls' trip or something like that, if you want an activity to do that you can just do together, this would be really cool for it as well. It's not just for kids, it says for families. So that family could be your
Yeah.
girlfriends, it could be, a family reunion. Oh my gosh, imagine that. Imagine a whole bunch of people at a reunion doing a scavenger hunt. That
Oh
would be
yeah, that would
epic.
be a fantastic. Yeah, one of the things I love about it for children is it really helps boost their self-confidence and self-esteem. By creating these challenges, contributing to the team success, it really instills that sense of confidence, which can positively impact their self-perception and confidence in their own abilities.
Yo, you did your research on this. I'm so impressed. I'm like, you just like flipping out all this really cool shit, man. I'm like, wow, you've got it all there. And you're like, this is what it does. It's like, I'm like, it's a cool game and my kids aren't killing each other. And you're like, and by the way, it
And by
also
the way,
makes them smarter and helps build their self.
well, well, in the highway pack was the first one that I launched. I launched it last month, and it's been extremely successful. We're selling multiple a day. It's tough. It's a competitive market on Amazon, and to even be seen. So I'm super happy with the progress it's had so far. But in that one, we actually have Morse code in there, so your kids can actually learn a real life skill and something fun for them of Morse code that they can use like when they're talking through the walls or whatever. And then in their newest set, which will be coming on Amazon Prime probably within the next week, which is called Go West, it has a slight Western theme to it. So it's got like Conundrum and a bunch of other fun games, but we also have American Sign Language in there. So kids learning hand symbols is one of the quickest things that they can do from a very young age, and it's great to have as an adult. So we're trying to have fun games, but we try to work in some real life actual skills.
Wow. I think it's amazing. I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other better for right now. I learned, when I learned sign language was I was in 8th grade, right? And I didn't learn a lot of it. I learned how to spell things and I like learned a little bit. See, back in the Stone Age when I was young, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have anything. We had notes. And when we were in
Yep.
class, we would pass notes to each other. But our teachers would got the note, they'd read it out loud. So what we learned was if we did sign language, we could still talk to each other and no one would be the wiser because most kids didn't know it. And we didn't have to worry about the teacher reading it out loud. And so it was a great
Hmm.
skill, and it still is a great skill to have. And so I love that you're incorporating that in there because it is so beneficial in so many ways, but it's also really fun. And I think what you're doing with what you have
Yes.
in these games is that you're taking learning and adding a ton of fun to it. And so they don't realize that it's learning. It's like making broccoli taste like, candy, right? If you can learn how to like, get it, you know what I mean, then they'll eat it, right? So if you can make learning
Yes.
fun, it makes the difference. What's your favorite one to do?
Oh yeah.
You talked about the scavenger hunts, which would definitely be my favorite. But what's your favorite one?
So in the Western Pack, I have two favorite games. One is Cownundrum. You're supposed to look at the license plate and find all the letters in the alphabet and mark them off on the cow. But you're working against the rest of the people in the car. If they see anything that is cow related, like the Chick-fil-A billboard or an actual cow, they can yell out cow and you have to start all over. So
Oh
you're
my
trying to
gosh,
find all the letters of the alphabet before anyone sees a cow. And
there's a lot
I'm
of
looking
cows
forward to
out there.
playing that one by itself. There can be a lot of cows depending where you are. So it may but that's the game where it's solo but competitive against the rest of the people in the car.
Wow, that is fun. Which is your
And
other favorite?
my other one is also from the Go West pack, and that one is called oh gosh, it's something about Flapjack Frenzy. So this one is whenever you see something bug related, whether you accidentally hit a bug on your windshield or you see an exterminator sign or anything else, they yell out splat, and you have to cross off the bugs that are swarming around this pile, your flapjacks. There's ants and little birds, bugs around it, and you have to hit all 29 bugs to win. So it's a car playing together to save your flapjacks.
Oh my gosh, that does sound fun. That's like, how did you come up with all these different games? And how are you so inspired to do this?
I think it's part of just being an only child and having to create my own universe around myself. I didn't usually play with a lot of kids when I was young, so I had a lot of time to spend with myself. And generally, for these games, I've been writing down lists of generally Western themed things or highway. Right now, I'm actually working on winter. So I start with a bunch of general winter ideas. And then from there, I'll take general concepts like solo competitive, solo cooperative with a car, multiplayer, and try to work those into each of those different themes.
That's so smart. And you're really smart with that stuff. So when Ruth and I were we were doing a lot of events because COVID happened and we all were locked inside and we needed something
Yeah,
to do. And so you were really, really amazing and creative with some of the games that you would play in your groups because
yeah.
you had like 3,000, 4,000 people in these groups. And you came up with my favorite, I think, was the Scrabble board and to see how many names you could like how many words you could come up with what the Scrabble pieces were that you gave them.
Yep.
Um, and is that kind of what like the precipit like was that like what kind of like you were like really inspired there, but did you feel I can't even talk. Do you feel like that brought you to like doing something like this because you already had that kind of game thing going?
Yeah, I believe that was absolutely an inspiration that during the 2 years of COVID, I was keeping adults entertained with things that they could play with and kind of getting feedback by that method. And then this just came back to great, families are going to be together again in cars. It is so hard to get people off phone. In a lot of areas of the country, there's no cell reception. You run out of power. You are cross-eyed after a while, and you just got to get away from that. And so I'm like, this is time. It's finally time to try to bring some of these old type of things back where you're just using paper, well, laminated cards and a dry erase marker.
That's perfect. Yeah, I think I lost power last like 4 times in 1 week last week. It was insane. One of the times it was down for 12 hours, and it's really
Ugh,
amazing how you realize how attached you are to the internet and to your phones. And like, I didn't grow up with that. Like, it was like, get out the door at 8 a.m. in the morning, don't come home till dark, right? Your parents didn't want to see you. They were like, get out and go
yeah.
do something. And so it was a different world that I grew up in. And now I always wonder, like, are kids playing games as much? Are they doing those kinds of things? Or are they just like, there's so many Candy Crush, there's so many things on their phone that they can do, or it just seems like too much. And it's such a great way to like say no. Like,
Hmm.
we're putting the phones in the trunk for a while and let's just
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about these games. They really promote social development because players can work as a team or in groups and learn really important social skills like communication, collaborations, patience, and interacting that really fosters a positive relationship. And that's what we need in more of our family day-to-day life. When everyone's confined in a car, that's a great place to start bringing those out again.
Yeah, you can't really bring the Monopoly game out in the car when you're driving. So
No.
even the driver can participate. Just don't read the cards and don't do the writing. Have somebody else do it for you.
Yep.
But and then camping too. I mean, we love to camp, and so there's a lot of opportunity when it's, you go camping, you have this perfect vacation planned. You got all the kids, you got the couple dogs. It's a crazy time. You've bought all this food and you've got all these things planned, and then it pours rain. Like, how many times have I sat by a campfire trying to dry my shoes by the campfire because I left them out in the rain? Done it many times. And so what do you do? Now you're stuck. You're in a tent, which is a very also combined space. And how do you pass the time until the storm passes? It's finding activities to do together that keeps the vacation of the family time going.
Yeah, and that's what I want to try to start getting more into. We're doing these card games, but as this starts evolving, right now we've got the highway, the Go West pack. We're working on winter right now. And then I've got lots of other themes going for, I'm hoping to do one for whether you're doing airplane travel. So as you're inside of an airport, inside of a plane, maybe inside of a taxi a little bit, but that kind of workflow, and then more of the sitting around workflow. Maybe you're at the beach, exactly. Maybe you're at camping. These are things that we want to try to expand to later on.
I have a suggestion
Okay.
that I think would be really cool because, I, you know, when my kids were little, it was like, what do you want to do for your birthday party? And that was always like, everything involved money. It was like, well, we can go bowling. We can go to the trampoline place, or we can go. And it's like, that's really awesome. And I'm barely affording the presents and the cake. What do you want me to do here? And so you want something that's a lot of fun for your kids to do when they have all their friends come over, that they're going to feel like that was an amazing party and I had a really good time. And as a parent, you want something that it doesn't break the bank on things. So having how many scavenger hunts did you say was on the one that's out now? Like,
So all of them, each pack comes with 20 scavenger hunt games. And the greatest thing is there
wow.
is a ton of variety between each of these boards. Most of the time, I only repeat one word through 4 times throughout all of these. And I think that's 480 squares, I think, on that.
Oh
But
damn.
there's a ton of variety.
I remember because I was doing your events and you were like, we would prefer that you didn't repeat yourself in all of the different, because I was in all your groups, and
Yeah.
you were like, try not to repeat yourself. So I was doing 12 groups in one week and 3 posts a day in each group, and I couldn't repeat myself. So I was trying to like make a whole bunch of various things. It was a crash course in how to do things the right way, and then Canva, because I had to learn that really quick
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So I know that when you say you don't repeat, I'm sure you don't. What about, like, okay, so my daughter's getting married in September. Bachelorette parties.
That
Bachelorette.
was one of the themes I was thinking about. I've got a huge list of them. I was thinking about like an adults theme because I really try to keep taboo stuff out. Like I don't have in there roadkill. I don't have in there other
So then
types of
you
adult
wouldn't do
things.
well in Wisconsin because they have road. I just drove through Wisconsin. They got roadkill all over the place. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
and they have beer gardens at parks. I just learned that
Yep.
yesterday.
Yeah, so we try to keep it a little bit PG for all those, but I was thinking it'd be super fun to do a very adult version where you would use for like a bachelor party or you do a big wine tour, the whole huge group, a limo full of people.
Ooh.
Yes, so a limo full of people with a little bit of wine, I'm sure that could be a very fun time. But things that we're thinking about for the future. But right now, it's like very much just 8+ around the preteens, adults, making them nice and collaborative. Build some of those great social skills. Get up that self confidence in these kids. I think that's so important.
I think that yeah, that's fantastic. And now you oh my gosh, so many ideas. So we used to go when we used to take the kids to the fair, their state fair, right? So it's a big place. Our challenge was to see because we would split off, right? Because like some of them wanted to go on rides and other ones wanted to play games and other ones wanted to go see the baby animals. And so we kind of we like come together, but then we'd still like branch off and do things. And so the challenge of the day was how many like those cutout things where you can put your face in the circle,
Yes.
right? They're all over the fair. And so it was like, how many pictures can you take of you in this, in a, like a, one of those things, right? And
Hmm.
so like, we were like still doing things. And then I have one of my kids where, and it was so funny. I watched them do this where they were at the fair and they were all looking in the same direction together and pointing. And people were walking by and like going, they were all looking. They're like, what? And I have that picture of them that I took of them doing that. And it was hysterical. So, like, doing those, especially if you're on a trip, a scavenger hunt on a trip would be different photos you can take
Hmm.
because you're doing things together and it's a scavenger hunt, but then you're also like getting actual memories that everyone has a phone to take a picture on
Yeah.
basically. So you still get a little technology with it, but you can take all these different pictures. Like I always like taking when I go anywhere there's an ocean or a beach, I
Oh
take a
yeah.
picture of my feet in the sand. I write something in the sand and take a picture of it. Like there's all of these little things that I like to like take pictures of because it just makes it's more creative and it makes you try things and do things that are new and fun that you wouldn't necessarily take a picture of and not realize how cool it is until you get back and you start looking through it. And so these games could be very similar when you're doing a scavenger hunt, where if the kids are really complaining, they could also, take a picture with it if they're out
Yep.
searching around for something or doing all that. What's
Yeah. I
next
mean,
for you?
so right now I am working on winter. So winter, I'm trying to make sure that if you're in an area where there isn't snow, it's not snow dominant. So while we do have some snow themes throughout the scavenger hunt, you're fine if you're in California or a sunny place. You're going to see a lot of those seasonal type things coming up. I've got about half the games on the back side done. We've got some cool things like Arctic Artistry, Cozy Cuddles, Snowflake Magic, Penguin Pathfinder, uh, Winter Word Frost, Arctic Cipher Hunt, Peppermint Plate Pursuit, and more.
Oh wow. Yeah, you've got it all planned out. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And
For
when are you hoping to get those out? Like when would those start being available? Because I know people are starting to get Christmas gifts already. So at least I'm
I'm
trying to.
hoping Yeah, I've actually, it takes a long time for Amazon to process things. So I'm trying to get everything done and sent this month. So I'm hoping that September is when they will come up on Amazon Prime. So hopefully September, October would be the latest, but at least we'll have them completely done probably by the end of this week. I'll have the last of the games done. They'll be available on my website for immediate purchase, and then Amazon Prime, those will come up probably by September 1st.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to put all of her links into the description so you can check it out and make sure that you can get some of these on order right away for whatever adventures you and your family are on. I can't thank you enough for being here. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll see you guys later. It's wonderful. Check us out. I'll be back on Friday doing some celebrations with my good friend Veronica, and I'm bringing in some creators to share what they've got going and what's in store. And be sure to check out my website. If you go over there, you'll see a link to join my new community, and I will put that link in the description as well. We have a special going on right now. It is 50% off for the month of August. Wow, we're in August. These kids are going back to school soon, but man, it's still August. Summer's gone. That's what happens.
Yeah, it goes by fast.
It does. All right. Thanks for checking us out today. We'll see you guys next time. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Bye.